This is the moment when armed fighters descended on the northern town of Ndele. The United Nations says 30 people were killed here at the start of the holy month of Ramadan. 9,000 others have been displaced, including humanitarian workers.
We've had 9 incidents in the past 10 days, violent attacks, vehicles stolen, computers, radios stolen, staff threatened, and most of those workers have had to leave for their own well-being, and they've been traumatized by this event. So that makes the delivery of assistance to the people in the camp beside the UN base very, very complicated.
Such fighting between armed ethnic militias has forced hundreds of thousands of people to flee across the border into Cameroon, Chad, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and the Republic of Congo. They've joined nearly 700,000 others forced from their homes since the civil war broke out in the Central African Republic between Seleka and anti-Balaka militias and the government in 2012. A peace agreement signed in June 2017 between the government and 13 of the 14 main armed factions failed to stop the attacks. It provides for disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration of fighters. Former fighters from the rebel groups, along with other ethnic militias, now operate in and control large areas where diamonds and gold are mined. While some handed their weapons following the peace deal, many armed groups have not. Nearly 3 years later, some demobilized fighters say their expectations have not been met. But the government says it's doing everything it can to address those concerns.
So you have thousands of combatants, and we want them to do other things, to be able to work. That's what they're looking for. And while they don't have that possibility, they will look for another source of income. That's what this is about.
Experts say the violence in the Central African Republic has the potential to destabilize the entire region.
You certainly might see refugees leave the country en masse. You certainly might see exporting of violence. The banditry that you see in Cameroon, the banditry that you see from these anti-Balaka groups that go into Congo-Kinshasa, you certainly could see that happening. And you certainly, I think we're going to continue indefinitely until the Central African Republic actually is able to reconstitute its borders. I think we're going to see armed trafficking, especially from Sudan.
The presidential election is scheduled for December, and tribal loyalties and power struggles often determine who leads the country. Many humanitarian workers fear the ongoing attacks will affect the outcome of that vote. And if the result fails to end the violence, that will have a devastating impact on millions of people already facing poverty and hardship. Ahmed, Idris, Aljazeera.